We're tracking all the major stories happening right now in Nigeria. All the service chiefs, as well as the Chief of Defense Staff, are currently in Maiduguri, the Borno state capital, in the heart of the insurgents. And this is in accordance with the directive of Mr. President Muhammadu Buhari. Will they meet the 3-month deadline ordered by the president to defeat Boko Haram? That's a major concern. What if the insurgents prove difficult to rout and the 3-month deadline lapses? What then? We will be watching closely and bringing you information as they happen. In its resolve to win the fight against terror in the northeast, the Nigerian army has appointed a new commander for the special military force undertaking the anti-insurgency campaign. This is the man. He handles the operation codenamed Lafia Dole, an increase in forces to wage war against Boko Haram on all fronts. Don't forget, they've got 3 months to do this. Nigeria's former head of state, Ibrahim Badamasi Babangida, lends his voice to the president, asking Buhari to be cautious in dealing with the people, offering themselves as negotiators between the government and Boko Haram terrorist group. We are also following the anti-corruption war by the president, Muhammadu Buhari. It's gathering steam at the moment. The president is shopping for a few fearless and courageous judges who will be responsible for the prosecution of those guilty of looting the nation's resources. That's not all. The president has approved the dissolution of the Executive Management Board of the Assets Management Corporation of Nigeria, AMCON, and approved the reconstitution of the management team of the corporation headed by Ahmed Lawal Kuru as managing director there. Is the change mantra taking effect? Tweet at us right now. This is State of the Nation. You're watching State of the Nation. I'm Gimba Umar. Don't forget, information coming in real time on this screen right behind me. Channelstelevision.com and other social media platforms as well. We're still watching the ripple effect of the economic reforms undertaken by the Buhari administration, one of which is the Treasury single account, the TSA. The results are already trickling in. Lagos State government has given September the 1st this year for total switch to a TSA system. Let's talk about this with Mr. Ayo Gbeleyi, the immediate past Commissioner for Finance, Lagos State. He joins us from the UK. I want to thank you so much indeed for joining us at this time. Let's get a broader perspective of this. The Lagos State government has directed revenue collection banks to close all existing multiple accounts domiciled in their banks. Will this be the first step in achieving transparency in the TSA regime?
Clearly, this is one of the most strategic steps that have so far been taken by both the federal government and the Lagos State government in terms of enhancing the capabilities in the management of public finance. And this is also consistent with contemporary 21st century global trend in terms of open government, which emphasizes enhanced transparency and accountability. Of course, this is also in line with best practices. The Lagos State government has also given a directive that should be implemented from the 1st of September, which aligns with the strategic intent of the federal government. I am a great advocate of what the government is doing, both at state and federal level, and it's one of the main pillars in which you can always enhance public finance management capacity, either at state or federal level. Beyond the issue of accountability and transparency, a TSA also brings about a marked improvement in the efficiency of the monitoring and management of revenues for government, rather than what has been happening either to where you have multiple revenue accounts and disparities all around banks. What you do is you now set up a single treasury, a treasury single account, which has a single revenue code into which certain interconnected and interlinked accounts would consolidate at the end of the day, such that the managers of government revenues can see a single screen shot or a single screen view of the total revenues collected on behalf of government on a particular day or for a given period of time. And of course, clearly, you can imagine the associated benefits that are linked to such an arrangement, rather than have to deal with many disparate accounts, as it were. So it is a step in the right direction in terms of policy and reform, and it's something that should be wholeheartedly embraced by all and sundry.
You know, yes, a TSA to encourage transparency, but some experts are of the opinion that this really isn't foolproof to protect the Treasury from graft. What are your thoughts?
Well, one thing I can tell you is that there are so many benefits in terms of implementing a Treasury single account. Beyond the issue of ease of monitoring and accounting for revenue, it also assists to a greater extent in curbing leakages and fraud associated with multiple accounts. Because in this scenario, you have better audit trail, you have a single account into which all revenues are consolidated. You are not dealing with reconciling so many accounts, but you are dealing with a single account, and only also, going to subsidiary account as necessary to validate your reconciliation items.
Now, what are your thoughts to the Lagos State government being the first in line to adopt the TSA fully? Does this suggest there are corrupt elements in the system perpetrated by the past administrations? What do you think?
No, that is not the intention. Government is a continuum, and in terms of what you call government business process continuous improvement is something that you do, on a continuous basis. There is never a stop to enhancing your control environment or improving on what you're doing. And that's even in this era when you talk about innovation. There have been ways in which, for example, cars were manufactured before. Today, you are talking about the incidence of a driverless car or autonomous cars. That is not to say that cars were not on the road before. So it's not to say that there are no systems in place as it were today. But it is the responsibility of government or bureaucrats to continually improve on their processes and procedure. And this is one of such efforts that is being taken to further enhance the existing processes and procedures.
Well, now that the Lagos State government has opted for a TSA, will it, for example, bring about better roads, better healthcare delivery to the people of Lagos State?
Clearly, there is a trickle-down effect if government revenues are enhanced. If you have improved cash flow streams, it means that government is able to do more in terms of provision of social amenities like healthcare delivery, like education, like residents empowerment. It also means that government is able to execute more infrastructure projects like roads, housing projects, intermodal transportation, whether it is ferry services, it is the BRT system, it is also the light metro rail transit, and such other laudable programs that government is implementing at the moment. And this has significant impact on the living standards of the people, which is also continually enhanced as government provide more facilities and more amenities for them.
Now, do you expect other states to join in the bandwagon?
I do see other states joining in quick succession, given the fact that when you see best practices and if your peer is doing something that is good and delivering results, clearly it is something you also like to embrace and improve upon it, as it were. Remember also, like I mentioned before, unlike the situation where you see at the federal government level, where capital expenditure are released to ministries, departments, and agencies on a quarterly basis, and those funds are warehoused by those MDAs. At the Lagos State government level, for example, the government state treasury office warehouses such funds in a manner that it is the state treasury office that is responsible for making payments to all the contractors upon proper verification and approval of works that have been done. So the Lagos State government over the time been taking practical steps in pulling in the direction of having the building blocks for a treasury single account as it were today. And having said that, even while we were in office, there were many states that have come on experience sharing with us and to come and learn the lessons that have been achieved or accomplished by the Lagos state government in terms of significantly improving its public finance management capabilities, which they also intend to replicate in their own state. So states have also amongst themselves been sharing experiences, and so also with the federal government as it were.
We're going to have to leave it at that. I want to thank you so much indeed, Mr. Ayogbele, for your time and your thoughts, the former Commissioner for Finance, Lagos State.